to the happening Multicultural Poetry Night, co-presented by the Happening Multicultural Festival and Shab-e Poetry Night. I would like to thank the organizers very much for having me tonight and for being super accommodating during the submission process of this video performance. Shab-e Poetry Night was actually the first ever poetry booking that I received in my career, so I'm very grateful to them for giving me the impetus and the drive to have the audacity to be able to think that I could tour and have thus far been able to tour successfully. So thank you to Shab-e, thank you to the Happening Multicultural Festival. My name is Mugabi Byenkya. I am an award-winning writer, poet, and occasional rapper. I have one book that's been published thus far. So if you like what you see tonight, if you like my performances, if you're a fan of my work, feel free to check my website for more information at www.mugabibyenkya.com, or feel free to follow me on social media. My Instagram is @mugabs, that's MUGABS. My Twitter is @mugabsb, that's MUGABSB, and my Facebook page is @mugabsb as well, MUGABSB. If you like what you see, feel free to support me by buying my book. It's at a couple independent bookstores in the Toronto area and also across the world. I'll be performing 2 poems tonight, and these poems are from a series of poems that I've been working on which celebrate platonic intimacy and friendship. The first poem I'll be performing is called Naphtali, and it's dedicated to a dear friend of mine. And this poem is published recently in Sacrosanct magazine, so you can go check that out and follow their work as well because they're amazing, which was a republication of an original publication in the African Poetry Platform, but they published it only for 1 month and then took it down because that's the way their format works. So I republished it in Sacrosanct for perpetuity. So here is Naphtali. Mesmerize by those pools you call eyes. As I fall in, don't want to dip, I want to dive. Wait a second, hold up, take a glance to the side. Girl, you got such a beautiful smile. Smiling with my eyes, making Tyra look intelligent. Gracing I with your presence ever so benevolent. Opposite sex attraction becomes irrelevant cause you're a full moon but see yourself as a crescent. I wrote that verse for my best friend. I wrote it as an attempt to rend and then mend these emotions inside of me, my personal psychiatry, I used to say. But that was years before I went crazy and needed psychology to bring me back from the edge. Years before these suicidal tendencies caught me slipping and gripping onto a precarious ledge. Years before I met you and was reminded of the blues that I felt, that you felt, that we felt, like wool fibers we felt, attempting to melt into those creamy hues that you call eyes. Thank you. That is the end of the poem Naphtali. This is a poem that I wrote as a sort of like backpedal off of a rap song that I wrote back when I was a rapper. Now I'm only an occasional rapper because being in the studio takes a lot out of me. But back in my rapping college days, I wrote a poem called Friends and Lovers, and so I reappropriated a bit of the first verse as the jumping off point for Naphtali to show sort of the difference in trajectory that I was in at that point in my life. Yeah, and so right now I'm gonna get into the last poem of this set. This is my first time doing a virtual performance, so please let me know what you think and any tips and suggestions for future virtual performances, because I haven't been able to participate in the virtual arena as much as I'd like to because of volatile health, but this is a fun opportunity and I'm feeling stable enough to do it. So if more opportunities like this are out there, please send them my way and let me know what tips and tricks you have for me for virtual performances, because I'm brand new to this. I'm very accustomed to being on stages, but very not used to this virtual arena outside of like a music video setting. But yeah, that was a friendship poem. I decided to start working on this series of friendship poems because I was trying to sort of like celebrate platonic intimacy instead of doing the same old sensitive singer, songwriter, poet, rapper, whatever, crying about their girlfriend or husband or wife or whoever their romantic partner is again and again and again. And so I've been working on these series that celebrate platonic intimacy to sort of give flowers where they're due. And another part of this series, which is the poem I'll be concluding with tonight, is called If I Die, Bury Me Next to My Father. This is a poem that I wrote inspired by my late father who passed in 2005, and it was selected for publication by Juniper Poetry in 2019, which is amazing. And then it was further selected to be included as part of the Best Canadian Poets Anthology 2020, which you can go order yourself a copy of, or Best Canadian Stories and Best Canadian Essays, because they're all amazing and I have all three and love them. Those come courtesy of Biblioasis, so go check out their website if you want to order yourself a copy of those. This is If I Die, Bury Me Next to My Father. If I die, bury me next to my father. If I die, bury me next to my father. If I die, bury me next to my father. If I die, bury me next to my father. If I die, bury me next to my father. One grave over from Jaja Musaja. One grave up from the 1-foot grave of the 1-month-old cousin that I never got to know, because death trails my family like the police trail me. Walking through my neighborhood as they ask me, on and off resident for the past 3 years. Oh, my brother, resident for the past 8 years. Excuse me, sir, what are you doing in this neighborhood? Have you ever felt homeless in your own home? Thank you.